Now, ladies and gentlemen, our first speaker is a graduate of Bachelor's degree in International Relations and East Asian Studies from the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. She is also a former captain in the Israeli Air Defense Artillery Force. She is also the former Business Development and Technology Corporation Associate Manager in Sheikh Enterprises and the Sales Manager for Caprice NDC. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm welcome to one of our special guests this afternoon, the Asia Pacific Regional Director for Aura Air, Ms. Yael Shemesh.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me today. Thank you, Israeli Chamber of Commerce in the Philippines, for holding this event. My name is Yael Shemesh. I'm the Regional Director for the APAC region here in Aura Air. We'll be very much happy to tell you a little bit about us today and the amazing device that you see right here behind me. So please allow me just 1 second to share my screen and we can get going. Okay, so assuming everyone can see my screen now, so this is Aura Air. Aura is a comprehensive solution for indoor air quality management. We do everything A to Z, from detection and monitoring through filtration and disinfection of the air, all the way to giving you recommendations and insights about how to best manage the air quality indoor. Aura is 4 years old. We were founded in 2017. Ever since, we had 3.5 difficult years of research and development. And in August 2020, we have started commercial activity, and this is where all the fun began. We're today operating in over 50 countries worldwide, working with over 200 partners, resellers, distributors, agents, and so on, with some of the biggest names that I'm very proud to show down here. And we're looking for more great partners to join our family everywhere in the world. So how do we do it? How do we do everything that this wonderful device behind me is doing? We are working in 4 steps. All of them are working simultaneously and constantly. The first one being detection and monitoring of the air quality. Aura has its own sensors to detect the air quality indoor in real time, according to the parameters that you see here on the left. We detect smoke, CO, CO2, VOCs, particles of 2.5 and 10 millimeters, temperature and humidity. And we also detect in real time the outdoor air quality according to the parameters that you see here on the right, using third-party services. After we know the indoor and the outdoor air quality, we can move on to the next stage of using Aura's smart and patented algorithm that allows us to control, define, and modify all the devices that we have on site. Now here I will make a short stop to explain that Aura, the hardware that you see behind me, has 2 different products in terms of software. One is a consumer software, is a consumer solution. It's a great smartphone application, highly personalized, we will talk about later. And the second one is the enterprise solution. This is Aura's real value proposition is coming into use. So what you can see here on the screen is how our web platform looks like for the enterprise solution. You can deploy on it an endless number of devices. You can see the air quality outdoors in every given time. You can see all the devices that you have installed here. You can divide them to groups and to floors, detect air quality in each and every single room in every single time. You can define thresholds of air quality you would like to maintain in your facility and get alerts accordingly. And of course, it has many, many usages. Really depends on the end user, if we will have some time in the end so we can do a short demo. So this is the web platform. If I'm moving on to the third stage, so this is where we talk about the core of technology of disinfection and filtration of the air. The first one being the prep filter. The prep filter, we here use 3 different technologies and 4 different unique stages of filtration and disinfection of the air. First one being the prep filter, very similar to what we can find in an AC unit at home. The second one being the ray filter. This is also patented by Aura. This is our main patent, this great filter that has 3 different layers. The first is a HEPA filter. The second one is a copper fabric copper layer to absorb smells, bad gases, and VOCs. And the third part is a copper fabric. I don't know if any of you is familiar with the qualities of copper, but it has the ability to kill, destroy, and eliminate all bacteria, viruses, mold, fungi, and so on and so forth. So this is our ray filter, the only consumable actually for the device. The third stage is the sterilizer. The sterilizer is this blue cassette that you see here. This is high-end bipolar ionization technology. The sterilizer is actually actively releasing positive and negative ions into the room. They hunt down bacteria, viruses, mold, and other pollutants. You can see here, for example, inside a refrigerator, what happens after 2 weeks with and without the sterilizer. The differences are amazing. The sterilizer is also important because it is a proactive approach of disinfection of the air. All the air in the room is being purified while it is running through the device and going through the filter, but the sterilizer is actually a proactive approach. It releases the ions into the room and they proactively go and hunt down bacteria and viruses. Going back to this slide, so last but not least, we also have the UVC LEDs. 4 UVC LEDs are installed in the 4 sides of the device. Of course, there is no exposure to the human skin, and it's perfectly safe to use while there are people in the room. And the UVC is another great mechanism of disinfection of the air. So those are the 4 different unique stages of disinfection and filtration of the air. Now, of course, all the information I'm sharing with you was backed by lab results, lab tests, and clinical trials. And of course, we would be very much happy to share the results. We joined hand with institutions from all over the world. EPA is an American standard, I'm sure you're familiar with. Sheba is one of the top 10 hospitals in the world for 3 years in a row now. Even the Spanish Ministry of Defense have tested our devices before they were installed in the King's Palace, and so on and so forth. Here you can see, for example, the Petri plates. It's from a trial we conducted in the #1 institution in Israel. It's a Technion. What happens after 1 hour in a room with and without our devices. The results were just amazing. To briefly talk about coronavirus, so actually the development of Aura has started long before the outbreak of the corona. We have deployed our devices into hospital to see if we can try and address the very well-known problem of disinfection in hospitals. And we came to know that our devices were very efficient against influenza virus. And then there was this COVID outbreak, and we said, okay, let's test the devices for COVID as well. We conducted 2 clinical trials, and both of them resulted with over 99.9% success in disinfecting coronavirus from the air. The first one was in direct exposure for every single one of the components, and the second one was an aerosol trial. We put the device inside of a chamber, and we used an aerosol generator to try and simulate the way the coronavirus is being transferred from one person to the other. And again, we had amazing results of over 99.9% success in disinfecting coronavirus from the air. We're very happy about that. Really boosted us forward, I have to admit. Going back to the 4 stages, so Aura is an IoT device. It's a smart device. It accumulates a great deal of data because of the sensors, and this is where it's all coming into use. So as I said before, we have 2 software solutions for the device that you see behind me. The first one, as I mentioned before, is the consumer solution. This is for a private user at home. You can see it's a great application, great UX UI. It can be highly personalized to the end user. You can see here, you can insert any kind of medical information about yourself. For example, if there is a pregnant woman at home, someone suffers from allergies, a heart condition, lung disease, all this information can be inserted into Aura, and then Aura's personal assistant, we call her Heidi, can get to know you to a very good level and give you recommendations and insights about how to best manage the air quality indoors. So for example, if I suffer from allergies, and today allergens outside are very high, so Aura Heidi will give me a recommendation, give me a push notification in the morning saying, good morning, today the air quality outdoors is this and that, and we recommend that you close up your windows and exercise indoors. So this is just one example. Also, what is very important to say here is that we use Open API. So the Open API enables Aura to integrate with smart building management systems and smart home systems. So for example, if we're talking about the consumer application, so Aura can integrate into smart home systems such as Amazon Alexa or Google Home Assistant. And if we're talking about the enterprise solution, the one that you see here on the right, so Aura can integrate into smart building management systems such as the electricity system, the HVAC system, and so on and so forth. It can have very, very daily usages. For example, if I booked my conference room to 3 o'clock, so exactly at 2:45, Aura will start working in a higher capacity. So I have the conference room prepared for my disposal, clean and safe at exactly 3 o'clock. So this is a minor usage, for example, and in the bigger usages of that, so Aura can help us save energy and to make a much more efficient and greener building management. A quick word about our manufacturer, Bethel Industries. It's a German community that established its factories here in Israel. They're operating in over 100 countries worldwide, and they are one of the best CBRN measures manufacturers in the world. We can talk about them for hours. Another thing that is very beautiful about Aura is that it is suitable for every indoor environment. So up to date, we have installed Aura in hospitals and clinics, and also in educational institutions, healthcare centers, public transportations, private homes, nursing home, offices, residential, and so on and so on. So the opportunity is actually very big, which makes our partnerships in the world are very much different from one another. We have distributors who are HVAC distributors and medical device distributors and so on and so forth. Here are some examples of the places that we have been operating so far: educational institutions. This is an example from Cambridge municipality in the US, where we have installed over 1,000 devices. Here are some pictures from there. Hotels and hospitality, and of course, we can go on and on with the examples. Allow me just 1 second. Well, maybe we have some time for a demo, do we? Yes. Okay, so allow me please to share my screen again and show you how our dashboard looks like. Okay, so this is our dashboard. Okay, so this is how it looks like. Aura, we can detect the outdoor air quality in every given time. I can see that the air quality now in Tel Aviv is 115 out of 500. This is a world index for air quality. The 500 value is the most pollutant one, 0 is the cleanest. So today in Tel Aviv, we have 115. It's not the cleanest, it's not the worst, it's okay, it's moderate. Just 1 second, I need to refresh my page. Amazing. The yellow color here will indicate this. I can see that the colors, the temperature and humidity are at the values that we see here and the pollens. Now here I can see all the devices that I have here deployed in our office space. I can see which of them is not connected to Wi-Fi. I can see what is the air quality in each and every one of the rooms. I can divide them to groups and to floors for my convenience, so I can control an entire floor from one space. And I have this menu bar over here with an endless possibilities. So let's, for example, choose the device that is right here behind me. I'm sitting in the big conference room, there it is. So I can look at it. Already I can see that the indoor air quality is much better than what I have outside. The indoor air quality is 80 out of 500. The outdoors, we just saw it, which was 115. Now, if I'll do a short manipulation on the device, for example, here I have a smoke detector tester. It's a very common device we are using, and I will manipulate the device just a little bit. I'll spray it on. So we will see in just a few seconds how the sensors sense that there was a deterioration in the air quality, and we will see the readings of it. So stay with me here on the screen, and in just a minute, we will see that the value here are increasing, and this line over here will show us exactly what seems to be the problem, if it's PM 2.5 or PM 10 and so on. So the value is now 80, and we will wait for it to, there it is. Okay, and immediately we see that the air quality is going down and down. I don't know if you can hear it behind me, but the device automatically have increased the capacity. It's working in a higher intensity, okay, and the fan speed is much higher, so it will address the problem much quicker. Now, if I'll go to devices, for example, so I can export a QR code for each and every single one of the devices. So big conference room, this is the mobile QR code, and you guys can scan it with your phone right now, and you can see the air quality indoor and outdoor. So this, for example, is a very good solution for hotels and hospitals, that our customers can give information, access to information to their customers, and give them a clear reading of the air quality, and give them a sense of safety and confidence that the air is being purified and the air quality is much better than what they are experiencing outside. So this is a great feature. Of course, we love it. Going back here, so I'm going back to the dashboard. If I'll go and look again at the big conference room, so I'll see that the values are, of course, going down. So of course, the device has many more features, and I will be very much happy to explain about all of them, but our time is limited. So thank you very much for listening. I would be very much happy to take questions. Thank you guys again for having me, and back to you.
All right, so thank you very much, Yael, for that presentation. And of course, we have actually questions coming from our attendees. So hi, Yael, first of all, good day to you.
Thank you, good day. Great webinar you have here today.
Thank you very much also, Yael. Now, very informative presentation. Now, a couple of questions coming from our viewers and our attendees for today. Now, actually, Mr. Sebastian Ang Yongto is actually asking, how much is the Aura Air unit and where can he buy it? And a follow-up question coming from Ms. Rosemary Galang, is Aura Air available here in the Philippines?
Okay, so one of the reasons it was very important for me to join you guys today is because Philippines is really on our focus right now. We are developing the markets in Southeast Asia, and we have great partners throughout the region. But still, and I hate to say it, not working still in the Philippines. We are, of course, in negotiations and working towards that, but the device is not yet available in the Philippines. So for one or two devices, you can always contact me and I can help you purchase it. But we're looking for good, strong partners to help us penetrate this fabulous market.
All right, so thank you for that, for answering that question, Yael. Another question here coming from Dr. Al Santiago. Can I get a copy of the clinical trial when you tested Aura Air?
Absolutely. Send me an email and I'll get back to you with all the clinical trial results and the information we have.
There you go. So you can just feel that you guys are very confident with your product, because some other companies would say, no, I'm not going to give you a copy of it.
First of all, it's pretty. It's a lovely device. It's very beautiful. And of course, I'm very confident it has a great B2C app and a B2B app, and it's an amazing enterprise solution. So absolutely, yes. Very confident.
Yes. And also, here's another question. Can we have, coming from Ms. Jocelyn Oy Malong Ayon, can we have the Aura app installed and monitor ours? So is it available freely, like in the Play Store or in the App Store? Or is it an app that comes together when you buy the product?
So you can download the app right now if you go on the App Store or on Google Play. But if you don't have a device to be connected to the application, so it will not be so valuable for you. The app is free. You can download it, of course, at any time. But if it's not connected yet to a device, so the features that you will be able to experience are quite limited.
There you go. And another question coming in. Are you guys open for Philippine distributors?
Absolutely, yes.
Yes, actually, I think that's one of the things that we're actually looking for with this presentation, right, Riel? Now, here's another question. Per unit, the per unit of Aura Air, how big of a coverage does it have in terms of like in square meters or square feet?
The recommended room size is 55 square meters for Aura.
There you go. So I'm just trying to look at the chat box if there's any other questions coming in for you, Yael. But yeah, very interesting product, especially in this time that we have the pandemic. Everyone's conscious about the air that they breathe in. So here's another question coming from Miss Rosemary Galang. Can you send us your email address and contact details for possible collaboration and installation in a hospital opening by 2023?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. When we finish the Q&A, I'll be happy to write in the chat box my contact information, and feel free to reach out, please.
Sure. So one more question coming in from Mr. Al Santiago. Can this be used in the intensive care unit?
Yes, absolutely. We have already installed in hospitals, both here in Israel and in other countries worldwide.
So there you go. So thank you very much for answering all the questions coming from our attendees.
Very, very much for having me today. It was a great pleasure to be here.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, again, a round of applause for Miss Yael Shemesh from Aura Air. Thank you, Yael.